My name is Jake and I'm 27. This happened back in October 2022 when I was living in a small town outside Boise, Idaho. Fall was in full swing and my girlfriend Mia and I had just moved into a rental house on the edge of town. The kind of place where your closest neighbor is a quarter-mile away and the property backs right up into pine woods. We'd been there about 2 months. Mia worked night shifts at a hospital in the city, so a few times a week, I was home alone after dark. I didn't think much of it. I grew up in a rural area, so an empty house at night never bothered me. One Tuesday night, Mia had just left for her shift around 7 p.m. I made dinner, put on a show, and settled in on the couch with our dog, Duke, a German Shepherd mix who was usually pretty relaxed. Around 9, Duke suddenly got up from the rug, walked to the front window, and just stood there staring out into the dark. He wasn't barking, just watching. Ears up, completely still. I got up and looked out too. Nothing but our driveway and the tree line beyond it, barely visible in the porch light. I figured it was a deer and went back to the couch. But Duke didn't move. He stood at that window for a good 10 minutes before finally walking back and lying down, though he kept his head up, alert. About an hour later, I heard it. 3 slow knocks on the back door, not the front. The back door faces directly into the woods, and there's no path or driveway back there. Nobody has a reason to be at that door, ever. I froze. Duke shot up and started growling low in his throat, facing the kitchen. I grabbed my phone and walked toward the back door, staying a few feet away. I asked who it was. No answer. I asked again, louder. Still nothing. I looked through the small window in the door and saw nobody. Just the dark yard and the woods behind it. I told myself it was a branch falling or an animal bumping the door. I checked that the deadbolt was locked and went back to the living room, though I turned off the TV so I could actually listen to the house. 20 minutes later, the knocks came again. Same door, same slow rhythm. 3 knocks, pause, silence. This time, I didn't approach. I stayed on the couch with Duke pressed against my leg, both of us staring down the hallway toward the kitchen. My hands were shaking as I texted Mia, telling her someone was at the back door and not answering. She called me right away, telling me to call the sheriff's non-emergency line since nothing violent had actually happened yet. Just knocking. I did. The dispatcher took my information and said a deputy would swing by when one was available, but it might be a while since we were pretty far out. While I was on the phone with her, Duke's growling changed. It got sharper, more aggressive, and he turned to face the side of the house near my bedroom window. That window doesn't face the driveway either. It faces a strip of grass that runs along the tree line. I walked over, keeping my distance, and looked out through the blinds. For a second, nothing. Then I saw someone standing at the edge of the woods, maybe 40 feet back, just standing there. Not moving toward the house, not moving away, just standing, facing the window. It was too dark to make out anything about them. No face, no features, just a shape. I backed away from the window immediately and told the dispatcher what I was seeing. She told me to stay away from windows and doors and keep them updated. I sat in the hallway, away from any window, with Duke beside me, and we waited. About 15 minutes later, headlights swept across the front of the house. The deputy had arrived. I met him at the front door and told him told me to keep the doors locked, leave the porch lights on, and call back if anything else happened. Mia came home early once her shift ended, and neither of us slept much that night. Nothing happened again for about 2 weeks. Then, one night when we were both home, Duke did the exact same thing. Stood at the same window, same stiff posture. We didn't hear knocking that time, but neither of us went near the back of the house after that. We ended up breaking our lease early and moving into town about a month later. We never found out who it was, or why our house specifically. The property manager said the house had sat empty for almost a year before we moved in, and he didn't have any history of break-ins or complaints from previous tenants. To this day, whenever Duke stops and stares at a window like that, I feel that same cold drop in my stomach.